Hey guys, welcome back to Resistance Chicks. We're your hosts, Leah and Michelle. Today is the 2nd of November, 2018. We are here with you because it's our weekly roundup on Fridays,
where we cover what's happening this week. We weren't able to cover the March on Washington very much with Brandon Straka.
Mm-hmm.
We were able to tell
the
you
walk-away movement.
The walk-away movement. I don't want it to silently go in the night. I really want to start off with a bang because I want you to be really excited about this BLEXIT movement, because it's not just about black people exiting the Democratic Party.
Right.
And Candace Owens was asked, how did you come up with it? And she said, I was taken into a room at a Trump rally with Nigel Farage.
Nuh-uh.
And she said, yeah. She said, that's the Brexit guy. And she's like, BLEXIT. We need a BLEXIT, a black exit from the Democratic Party.
I love it.
And I do want to cover a little bit of drama with your mama. Kanye West, who is now Ye or Yee, she likes his name to just be Y-E. It's Yee. Yay, Yee. 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 Everybody calls him Yee now, or Yay. I don't know. It's just Yay.
Wouldn't it just be Yay?
Maybe it's Yay.
It's gotta be Yay.
Okay, Yay.
Not Yee.
Yay! Yay! Anyways, hey, yay. I think maybe that's how he wants to say, hey, yay. Hey, yay, yay. Anyway, so he got his feelings hurt, I don't know, because these really great shirts that you saw on the thumbnail were designed by a friend of his.
Yes.
And in a speech, Candace Owens said, a fellow superhero of mine helped design these. So people thought it was Kanye West.
Right.
So then word got around to him, and he sent a tweet out that he's leaving politics and that he felt used. Well, she had just gotten off this wonderful weekend. She's so excited. All these wonderful black people are posting all these videos, and then her hero, who she grew up listening to his music, she said she was from a broken home, and that his music helped her. And so you can see how it would hurt her. And then, Tommy Lauren had to weigh in and say identity politics is no good. See, kind of, I told you so. It's like a super Twitter battle. I feel sorry for Candace because I can just imagine the whole world is looking at you.
Okay.
The whole world is looking at your friendship with Kanye.
Right.
And on Twitter, he says, I feel used.
Right.
By you.
Right. And
I know what it's like for somebody to come around and say something about you when it's not true.
Mm-hmm. And
she said, she only gets like $56,000 a year from the Turning Point USA. She's not making money off this.
Right.
She's turned down some $1 million contracts just to stay with Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
She says she wakes up every day and she just tries to do the right thing and tries to follow God.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that she does everything right, but neither do we, and neither does anybody.
Yeah.
So I want to give a shout out to Candace Owens for standing strong and for doing the things she's supposed to do. But since this is my show, and she's probably not going to watch it, I would say also, Candace Owens, if you don't want people to throw you under the bus, which I don't throw other people under the bus, like Alex Jones.
Exactly.
Okay? Because she really got her start when Paul Joseph Watson got her on InfoWars, and that's how I learned about her, and that's how a lot of people learned about her. And then when she was becoming famous because of Kanye West, Alex Jones tweeted out a video of her, and she's like, I wasn't on there today. And she's probably thinking to herself, well, don't use me.
Yeah.
Don't use me. Mm-hmm. And so what goes around comes around.
Right.
So you got to be careful. And I'm not saying that anybody's doing the wrong thing here.
Right.
Because Kanye West, he is married to the Kardashians, you guys.
Dog hair.
It's wonderful that he is thinking for himself, and it's great, and we can applaud. See, this isn't a movement where everybody has to think the same.
Right.
If somebody wants to come in, it's kind of like, this is a wonderful game of kickball, and anybody who wants to play can play, as long as you play by basic rules of, be nice, be kind, don't be stupid. But you can have your own thoughts, okay?
Yeah.
So Kanye can have his own thoughts. He doesn't have to be part of the Make America Great crowd in every aspect.
Yeah.
And he wasn't used. But this is a political time that the whole world is living in. Shirt? No, I don't know. Does it matter?
No.
I don't know. It was in my pile. Okay.
Sorry.
So weird.
Sisters.
You're so weird. We're going live.
I know.
Oh, what?
Sometimes I don't have a filter, but it looks nice on you.
Oh my gosh. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Resistance Chicks. We're related. Thank you. Our laundry comes out of the same washing machine.
Right.
Anyways, so I want to go ahead and have Michelle start playing some of these videos so that you can get an idea of what I'm talking about, because they're so powerful. Why she is bringing one up, I know it's going to take her a second. I'll play for you one behind me.
There's just tons of them here.
I decided to leave the Democratic Party and start thinking for myself and figuring out who I actually believe in. I realized that for a long time, I was basically raised just to vote Democrat, just to farm my votes out to Democrats. And the first presidential election I got to vote for was Barack Obama in 2008, and it was pretty much not even a question. It was, of course, I was going to vote for this guy, especially because he's black. And after I got older, I started realizing that identity politics was the worst possible thing ever, and that Democrats are pushing identity politics like crazy. I started to realize that maybe I needed to listen to some voices on the other side. And when I started to listen to voices on the other side, I started to realize that I actually believe some of the things that these people are saying, and I trust some of the things that these people are saying. So I'm not telling people that they need to go out and vote Republican or any type of way. I'm just saying that you need to think for yourself, and you need to do some research and figure out who it is that you actually align with, because farming your votes out to people based off of identity is pretty stupid. And I'm sick and tired of it, and that is why I've decided to BLEXIT. I'm so glad this movement is happening, and keep it.
This is what it's all about. So we're going to just watch all the videos on Candace Owens' thing that she's putting out, because they're short little clips, because Twitter only lets you put up short little videos. But that's what it's about. Wherever you're at, you should never be considered even, we have the Christian vote. Yeah. Because Bush did that. Okay?
He did, and they took it. And we were used.
You know, there's, who's got the women's vote? Who's got the LGBT vote? Who's got the... You guys, nobody should vote in a block based on who you identify with most.
Right.
You should vote because you believe in what the candidate is saying and how that they are presenting a topic in a situation. And in some cases, it might be what we do need is more political parties so that you could definitely vote your conscience.
I think the UK might have a few too many.
Yeah, the Pirate Party.
I think we don't need all that going on. All right.
80.
Let's see. Let's just go. What about this one?
Play them all.
Okay.
You have to unmute them.
I see that.
They wanted me to be another statistic, grow up fatherless and raise a child that's also probably going to be fatherless, collect those checks from the government, because, of course, you know they subsidize fatherless kids in welfare checks.
Yep.
That may seem extreme, but it's not. Democrat policies actually subsidize bad behavior, like having a bunch of kids when you're not even married, by having a bunch of kids at a young age like I am right now. In this hypothetical statistic, for that fatherless black girl in the inner city in a Democratic ghetto, it would be very, very hard for me to not vote for them. I mean, of course I'd vote Democrat. How could I vote for those racist Republicans? The Democrats are giving me my welfare check and giving me money for every baby I have outside of wedlock? Duh. But why would Democrats want black kids to grow up without fathers? Aren't they for racial equality? Aren't they progressive? Aren't the Republicans the ones who are racist? The Democratic Party purposely subsidizes bad behavior. If I were to have a baby outside of wedlock right now, I would get extra money from the government for that. So when you think about it, they're paying me to make bad decisions that won't be good for me or my kids and will eventually let my kids grow up fatherless. But it doesn't matter for me because I get my check, and once I do get married and I have another person, another income in my house, those checks go away. So don't you see how hard it would be to turn down that money from the government that's literally paying you to do whatever you want with no real consequences except higher incarceration rates, lower graduation rates, higher suicide rates, and actually, there are a lot of consequences. Once the welfare state cycle starts, it's very hard to stop, because once you get a little bit of success, they'll cut those checks right off. And who are you going to vote for? The people who are giving you free money, or the people that are promoting personal responsibility? So I'm here to tell the Democrats, I'm BLEXITing. I'm done. I'm not going to become a statistic. I'm not going to become a slave on your plantation to just vote for you generation after generation while our cities get destroyed. Think for yourself. BLEXIT.
Love it,
I love
girlfriend.
It. That's awesome.
All right.
As I navigate Twitter. Okay, we
watched that one.
This guy? 13 seconds.
Keep going. Keep going.
Okay.
There we go. Yep.
And I have to unmute it.
Yeah.
I've decided to exit the Democrat Party. Whether it be the Black Congressional Caucus or Democrat leaders in general across this country, we've seen a severe lack of action within predominantly Black communities over the past 60 years. And we've seen, not only that, we've seen poverty and dependence on the government, which incentivizes more people to go and vote for them once again. Predominantly Black urban areas have been destroyed. Our educational institutions have been destroyed. Black-owned businesses have been destroyed by illegal immigrants. All of these things the Democrats have done to destroy the Black community. Every single Black person watching this, I'm not asking you to become Republican. I'm asking for you to think for yourself and vote with your heart and your mind and research what truly aligns with your views and what's truly going to help the Black community.
Amen, girl. I love it. Love it. Oh, by the way, for our UK viewers, the BBC showed up. And the title of their article, which you passed up, was What BLEXIT Gets Wrong About American History. Yeah.
Wow.
Like, they dissed them.
Wow.
They went there to tell them how they're stupid they are.
Wow.
This one's good.
Amazing. It is so good and refreshing to see our people making a move away from the Democratic Party and off the plantation and really making moves independently as free thinkers and people with their own mind and not having to follow like drones to the Democratic plantation, but actually being led off the plantation and doing some amazing things. So shout out to Candace Owens and everyone that are associated with you that have started this movement. I'm telling you, this is a godsend and it's a blessing to see because we've got to stay free. And it's not necessarily just physical, but mainly up here. You keep this free right here, no one can ever hold you back. Take care and God bless. Keep doing what you're doing.
Awesome. All right, this guy?
Yep.
Because I looked at our communities. I looked at slavery, and I looked at every single problem that we've ever occurred being Black in America, and I attribute it to the Democrat Party. When you look back at slavery and the Democrats, it was the Democrats versus the Republicans, and the Republicans were the ones who were against slavery while the Democrats were for it. And then you look at Jim Crow and all the laws that were implemented under Democrat governments, governors and congressmen. And then I looked at our current urban plantations. I looked at our neighborhoods. I looked at how we have rapid crime and rapid poverty in our neighborhoods, and all our city officials are Democrats. I said, man, this is crazy. Why is all our representation for almost the last 100 years Democrats, and our community still look this way? I wanted something different for us. So I said we had to BLEXIT. We must exit, leave the Black exit. We must leave today.
You know, that's such a valid point. If the Democrats have been the party of Black people for the past 60 years or so, why is it that the Black communities are still in shambles? They've done nothing. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
Democrat Party, because for the past 60 years, we've been voting for these people like it's our life duty, and look what we got out of it. Nothing. Y'all know who started the KKK? The Democrats. Y'all know who started Jim Crow? The Democrats. And y'all know that Lyndon Baines Johnson called the Civil Rights Act the nigger bill? He didn't care about Black people, he cared about votes. Did y'all know that since the Civil Rights Act was passed, the Black single motherhood rate went from 25 to 74%? Oh, right. And 300,000 Black babies were killed every year on top of that. Democrats don't want us to talk about that. How about our 8,000 brothers and sisters killed every single year by our own people? How about the most Black men were locked up under Bill Clinton's administration? The media tried to silence me and the left tried to tell me no, but I don't care. They're not going to put me in my place. We are free.
I love it. I got
I
goosebumps
know,
all
I
over
have
my
goosebumps
body.
too.
While you're there, go ahead and scroll up. Oh, can these people see what you're doing? No, that one isn't it. Google buried. I do know that Google buried the official BLEXIT website. Other search engines like Bing
Or DuckDuckGo.
and DuckDuckGo were putting when you Googled BLEXIT,
Yeah.
their website came up first.
Wow.
That should be your default. But if you scroll down under Googling, it's all negative. See, it says Kanye West denounces affiliation with BLEXIT. BLEXIT. Kanye West said he wasn't involved with controversial T-shirts. And that's what was shown. That's what's shown on Google. Like, this is literal, like, election
Fraud.
interference and fraud.
Absolutely.
I'm not even
Absolutely.
kidding you. There's more. I just love them all. This will be the last one.
There's a train coming. You don't need no ticket. Just get on board. It's called BLEXIT. Look, I left the Democratic Party back about middle of Bill Clinton's first term. The more I started to pay attention to liberalism, it made no sense. And I noticed one very important thing. They didn't give a damn about black people after the election. It was just a couple months before, oh yeah, we're doing something for you. Then I realized, I don't need you to do anything for me. Leave me alone, get out of my way, and I can do for myself. I'm smart and able to learn. Don't need your help. And to the rest of you out there who are unsure, the BLEXIT train has a seat for you. Get on board. We'd love to have you.
I love it. Aww.
Okay, so I'm Googling BLEXIT now.
Okay.
BBC is the top story. What America's BLEXIT gets wrong about history. Newsweek, Candace Owens says she needs to clear her name after Kanye BLEXIT design. Kanye exit blesses, but what about Make America Great Again, MAGA? So you've got Secular Talk, Kanye abandons Candace Owens, and the right-wing BLEXIT. What Americans get wrong with BLEXIT. BLEXIT, black exit from the Democratic Party. And you really don't have any... This is the Daily Wire, I guess, as one positive thing. And it's just all about Kanye West. And then finally here, BLEXIT, We Free is their website and their Facebook home. But it's all the negative coverage, and it's so positive. Why isn't, a video of somebody breaking free? And here's a bunch of pictures of people. These are the names: Alt-Right, Coon, Oreo, Dangerous, Uncle Tom, Traitor.
That's horrible.
These are videos.
Incredibly racist, by the way.
Exactly. Here's one more. I don't think we saw
that
this
bond.
one.
Absolutely amazing and beautiful. The black community. The black community in this country shares a camaraderie and a bond where I can travel almost anywhere in the country, and just seeing another black American, I can get a head nod and give one in return that just says, you're my brother.
It's like the Jeep.
You're my sister.
It is.
That bond has been under attack. I believe that we have allowed something to creep into the hearts and minds of black Americans around this country that chooses to say, if you don't think the way I do, you're no longer my brother. You're no longer my sister. That saddens me. It saddens me to think that black Americans have allowed ourselves to divide ourselves and ostracize ourselves based on our beliefs. I am a conservative, and I'm not a conservative because my mother or my father told me to be. I'm a conservative because of what conservative values stand for. And I am so excited to see so many other black Americans wake up to the revelation that they don't have to think the way their mothers, their fathers, their aunts, their uncles, or their cousins all told them that they had to think. That they can choose to think for themselves. I'm a part of BLEXIT, which is a family of black Americans that choose to say, I can think for myself, and I will love my black brothers and sisters regardless of what their political beliefs are. BLEXIT is an awakening of the minds of black Americans that I believe will change the face of America forever. It's a movement of love and of understanding and of thought. It's a movement that says, I can choose to think and believe how I want to based on my own research, and I will choose to love my brothers and sisters regardless. I am so excited for what I see taking place in the hearts and minds of Black Americans around the country. An awakening has started, and Blacks are exiting from the monolithic thought that has kept us in chains and bondage for far too long. I am David J. Harris Jr., and I am a part of BLEXIT.
I love it. I love it. This website is so amazing. Here's some, it's also
what they've given you is resources. So if you're
Yeah.
interested and you think to yourself, if you're a Black American,
BLEXIT?
what are they trying to tell me? What am I missing? What are the things that I'm not thinking for myself? And so they give you the resources right here on their website to see the facts.
Here's an example. Lynching. A fate for both blacks and whites. This was not the KKK rounded up 3,446 black Republicans and 1,297 white Republicans, which were lynched by the KKK between 1882 and 1968.
Amazing. Oh
Okay,
my gosh.
so we're teammates, right? President Lyndon B. Johnson's true motivations. I'll have those N-words voting Democrat for the next 200 years. Quote, Margaret Sanger, colored people are like human weeds and need to be exterminated. Let's see, the Forgotten March, Forgotten People 1.0. They march for 17 people killed at Parkland, but are silent for the nearly 500 people killed in Chicago every year. Forgotten March, Forgotten People 2.0. They march for 2,000 separated illegal aliens, but are silent for the 900 black babies aborted every day. President Wilson and federal resegregation. Woodrow Wilson fired most black federal employees and resegregated multiple government offices. That is one of those truths that nobody recognizes.
Right.
Woodrow Wilson was set in place by big bankers and Democrats, okay? And what happened during that election, you need to know this, okay? They pitted Teddy Roosevelt. They brought him back. Hey, you want to run again?
Right. As a third party candidate.
Who was the other guy?
It's escaping me. But they brought him back as because if you throw in that extra vote, then they can steal it away. And of course, there's going to be people that say, "Hey, we'd like to see Teddy again."
Yeah, this is really important. William Howard Taft. Thank you, Mom. William Howard Taft. So what they did was they split the vote between William Howard Taft, from Cincinnati, by the way, Taft Museum, Taft everything, and Roosevelt. And so they did it on purpose. They funded both sides,
right,
so they could get the patsy in.
Right.
What you don't know about Woodrow Wilson is that he was severely
he was ill.
He was severely ill and easily manipulated.
Right.
And during his second term, he literally was in a comatose state that he couldn't even talk from a stroke.
And his second wife,
who again was another patsy who he married after.
Patsy, she was set.
She was set up.
She knew what she was doing.
She married him because she worked with his doctor and the Democrats to keep it all hidden. And they had a reporter come in and say he's doing really great. And he won.
She signed papers and she
Pulitzer
signed into
Prize.
law things. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, for him. It's it's just absolutely insane. So what does this go back to? 1913. Under Woodrow Wilson, we have the Federal Reserve Act and the income tax. This is what the big bankers needed, what they wanted, and then what they got a nation of workers.
Right.
And why we're all stuck in this 40-hour week thing. We're off our farms. They stole everything from normal human beings.
Yeah.
So with Woodrow Wilson, he played the KKK hanging movie. What's that called?
He screened it.
What's it called? He screened
I don't even know what it's called.
He screened the movie. He screened the movie
in the White House.
And he segregated. It was desegregated.
Right.
We literally had desegregation, and the Democrats under Woodrow Wilson put segregation back into the White House.
But Leah, the party has switched. They're a different group of people now.
All lies. Okay, I love this. BLEXIT, family, culture, belief, freedom, progress, strength. And these T-shirts are so awesome. I wanted to give a shout out to Candace.
Birth of a Nation.
Birth of a Nation. Thank you, guys.
Chris.
You guys are awesome. So check this website out, BLEXIT.com. They've got it, BLEXIT.com. All right, so Donald Trump is doing a rally, I believe, like every day till election. He's doing like 2 a day. I think he
You know,
already
he
went to.
flies back to Washington in between these. I mean, it's ridiculous. The dude must be on Air Force One all the time.
So yesterday, he's in Missouri. And I guess Missouri voted more for Trump than any other state. President Trump supporters lined up at 6 a.m. on Thursday before Trump rally at 6:30 p.m. And I know that
27,000
people showed up. And I want to see if I can get you. I do know the highway was backed up for a couple miles for people trying to get off to go see him.
Oh, Missouri.
You know what? For all the people wanting to vote for Obama, he couldn't fill a stadium. He couldn't get people in line to go see him in the drizzling rain.
You know, Bill Clinton came to our high school in 2016 when Hillary was campaigning, and I think maybe like 100 or 200 people showed up. Ridiculous. Sad.
Yeah, it is sad. Look at this line.
Donna Norris says he is coming to Fort Wayne, Indiana, where I live on Monday. I fear my safety staying home. I think you'll be okay. I don't think you should fear your safety going to a Trump rally.
Right.
We went to one. We've been to a few so far, and I think you're fine.
Yeah. So.
But you know what? You can see it probably better if you do stay at home.
That is that's true. Unless you're willing to go like a stay overnight or go. You can't get into a Trump rally anymore. You can't get into a Trump rally anymore.
Here's the deal. I think that it's important to try to go because these numbers, these people in mass, that's what shows the rest of America when it can get out there.
Obama was in Milwaukee, Wisconsin last Friday and couldn't even fill a high school gymnasium.
It's embarrassing. But you know, all this economic progress started with me. You know, that's what he says. It's so ridiculous. Like Trump tries to take credit. But it started in, my presidency.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
so Trump was in West Virginia today.
Wow. Dude gets around.
Yeah. And he won West Virginia by 67% vote. However, I think you've got this Patrick Morrissey, who's in a very tight race with Senator Joe Manchin. Now, Manchin was the only Democrat to vote for Kavanaugh. And he knew he had to, but he only voted for him after he had the votes.
Yeah.
Because he knew that it would become a decisive issue in a Republican state, in the Republican state of West Virginia.
Yeah.
People like him. He presents himself as a moderate.
Yeah.
He presents himself as somebody who would side with Trump on issues.
Mm-hmm.
So people just want to keep the guy in office.
Right.
They like him. But the state's attorney general, Trump has been there. He thinks this is a seat that he can flip. I think he's going to be in West Virginia twice.
Wow.
Before. I don't know how he does it. Seriously, he is the Energizer Bunny. Like, I don't
They're
understand.
worried about the dude's health. I think he's fine. Stella on Facebook Live says that the Democrats, or demon rats, she says, are allowed to take over the House or the Senate or both. We will see slavery and oppression of all Americans.
Okay.
Reb says you will see civil war too. And she says every polling place in this country should have monitors to observe and stop the fraud and cheating by poll workers who destroy ballots of conservatives. That totally happens. Stella also says Obama is paying people to attend his rallies. And she says, and here in Missouri, I'm assuming you're from Missouri, Stella, there were that many outside. James says it's almost Red Wave Tuesday.
So I know that Rosie O'Donnell, I don't know how she has a voice again, but she was doing an interview on how horrible Trump is and blah, 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 blah. And she's like, and they pay people to come to those rallies. And I think it was Chris Cuomo who was just kind of like went, I don't think so.
I don't think you can pay that many people.
I think they just kind of show up because they want to see the president. And I'm like, I've been to 2 rallies, and I look around the room. I know the people there. Like, I run into my friends or my family there, and I'm like, ain't nobody here paid. Ain't nobody here paid to be here. Nobody was paid to be at a Trump rally.
It's totally embarrassing.
But guess what, guys? Not only was he in West Virginia today, but he's in Fort Myers, Florida.
Oh my gosh!
Or at least he was early this evening. President Trump campaigned in Fort Myers, Florida, Wednesday night for GOP candidates.
Right now, Indiana.
Okay, he's in Indiana right now.
Right now.
Okay,
hang on. Then he was not in Florida. And West Virginia today.
No.
Fort Myers the other day.
He was in Fort Myers Wednesday night. So I wonder what this one was. For
That's
Ron DeSantis, for
today.
Governor, and Rick Scott. Okay, so this.
Donna Norris says, I voted for Trump and he has done much better than I thought possible.
Okay, so these are just pictures a little bit late from the Trump rally on Wednesday in Fort Myers, which we weren't able to cover. And how packed it was. I get it. Okay. So Mom is staying on top of, thanks for Patriot Gallery, because we've been farming. I've been staying on top of the news the best that I can, but she's been staying on top of where Trump is around the globe. It's like, where's Waldo? She's got a little map. She puts a little Trump pin where he's at. I'm kidding, but that's a really good idea.
Although I do know that Kansas. So hang on, I want to pause our regular news. Everybody keeps asking for
regular news.
I need to interrupt this
Gold
Telegram
bulletin.
A Gold Acre, yes, update. We do not have the predator that killed Gus in hand. We do not know what has killed Gus. There's no update there. However,
it's been raining nonstop.
We have been moving pumpkins. For 3 days. Like thousands. I don't know how many. Lots and lots of pumpkins. Okay. You notice Leah's nose is still a little red from being out in the cold. Yeah. So I was thinking I probably should have just come straight in with my Carhartt coveralls and done the news in that instead of
I was wearing my Q hat. And by the way, Mom like screamed in the kitchen.
Thank you. That's where I was getting. Now Kansas is sitting on the couch. And all of a sudden, this is what you hear from Patriot Gallery. Q's back! Q's back! Q's back! He's back! He's back!
But it was really loud.
Now, Matt, or Kansas, we call him both, literally goes to jump off of the couch because the last time my mom started screaming bloody murder...
Oh, it was the coyote!
She thought there was a coyote outside that next night. And Matt was like, I didn't know if I needed to go outside with my gun. You know, I mean, I was like, sit down, calm down. He's like, I'm glad that was just about Q. Okay, I mean, it was really, really, really funny.
That is funny.
Hey, wait, stop.
Okay, what?
Stop. Sandhar. What is Skyline Chili, Chris Holman? Sandhar would like to know what Skyline Chili is.
What does that have to do with anything?
I don't know. Chris must have mentioned that he's making it or eating it or something. All right, it's a Cincinnati thing. It's spaghetti with chili that doesn't really taste like chili. With a pile of cheese, possibly some beans, possibly some fresh onions. It's a Cincinnati... amazing.
I'm totally gonna do a commercial for which I will never be paid.
Look. This is it. I'm getting hungry. Dang it. Why did you do that? Any of our friends that ever come to Cincinnati, we take them to
And
Skyline.
then you can buy cans of it.
You can buy it frozen.
This is what's in our freezer. You can buy freezer things of it. You can buy it in 100 different ways.
Oh,
You can make it in your crock pot, baby.
There's a recipe online. Just Google Cincinnati style chili. And make it.
Skyline chili burritos are good. Everything is good. Okay, so
it sounds great on a cold day. It's great on it any day.
Any day, baby.
Any day of the week.
So much cheese.
Okay.
All right, so Q is back. This is where we're going to do another little changing the news segment here. I guess here's the thing. I want to explain something about Q because I know a lot of you guys love Q, and some of you are like, Q's this blah blah blah. Here's the thing. Jack Posobiec and a lot of people come out to expose the people behind Q and say that they're fraudulent, that, you know, sometimes they said, you know, the indictment is ready. They're getting Guantanamo Bay ready for Hillary Clinton.
Right.
I knew from the very beginning that this was a bunch of Reddit guys running a very exciting spy novel with, in doing so, there are links that they would post to real articles like the New York Times or something. They had clues for people to follow, and it kept people excited. I know that they're not top level, top secret people.
However, a lot of times they come out with some top level, top security information, which means they have sources.
And I really appreciate them getting people excited, getting people to follow the rabbit. Where we go one, we go all.
Somebody tagged me in a post the other day. They're like, so there's rumors that Michael Flynn is Q. Michelle, do you think it's true? And I said, I would love it if it was true, but it's not. It's not Michael Flynn. It's actually my mother. It's Patriot Gallery. So
post a lot of cool links.
Right.
You know, we're offline. Incredibly violent. They're throwing rocks at Molotov bombs.
Cocktails, yeah.
They're breaking down fences. I mean, like, seriously, these are people that you don't want in. Anyways, you might be shocked to discover the real truth of why the Dems depend on illegal immigrants and why they care more about them than you. And so let's see if we can bring this up. So basically, I don't know if you guys can see this. Let me see if I can make it a little bit bigger. All right, that's big. So when you cross-reference, especially down here, look, Democrats went for, I'm guessing, in the election, 2016 election.
At the tip of Texas.
2016 election. So then here we have these huge immigrant populations, all along the coast. Look at that. So all along the coast. Look at that.
How do they get there? You know what I mean? Like, how do they know to go there? How do they know to congregate there?
Well, see, and then I think Hamilton County in Cincinnati went for Hillary. It's a tiny little dot you can't see on this map.
There's Ohio somewhere.
But you
in there.
can't see the blue here when I made it up big. But over here, Washington, all of
And
California.
like seriously, that's
like
what I'm
literally when you cross-reference all the little blue
Yeah.
dots, so you understand. Thank you to the Mr. Researchers, right, or Miss Researchers, because that is an important thing for us to
Right.
know. I appreciate that. So. You know, when they talk about sealed indictments and blah, 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 I take it with a grain of salt. If there's an article that goes with it, then I might take it a little bit more seriously. They say, today, Chairman Chuck Grassley referred Judy Monroe Layton to the Justice Department for investigation for making material false statements to the committee during the course of its investigation. So this was, I believe this was the woman who said that she had been sexually assaulted by Judge Kavanaugh,
Right.
and Avenatti said I had a second person to back things up with with Swetnick person, and this is the second person I think that Senator Grassley has said you can't make false statements.
So what Leah's going over right now is, why is Q valid? Why is it not like some sort of weird psyop like so many people think that it is? You can't, we say this every time we talk about Q, a house divided against itself cannot stand. So any plan that someone were to come up with that says we're going to go so hard with the other side and then somehow we're going to get them to do what we want, sometimes it works. But when you are throwing out articles that are like legit, awesome, amazing news, it's not going to work. And so it's impossible that this is a psyop to get anybody to do anything.
And
the
and
links
something
are too
like
real.
this, like why doesn't the media remember this? Trump being given the Ellis Island Award for contributing to the conditions of inner city black youth, standing alongside Muhammad Ali and Rosa Parks. Racist, white supremacist.
Right.
Trump does not have a history of white supremacy, but Robert Byrd, who I always want to say Larry Bird, but that's the basketball player. The guy who was a Klansman, a high chief Klansman or whatever, and you've got Hillary Clinton and everybody praising this guy. It's absolutely so embarrassing.
So hold up a second, because So What says it keeps people distracted. I disagree.
No.
Because it keeps people focused
Yeah.
on all of the issues that we need to be looking at, and it's pointing them all in the right direction. Now, you might say the hype of Q keeps people distracted, which is why Leah and I only do it a little bit. You know what I mean? We're not obsessed with it. So I could see how maybe the obsession might keep somebody distracted from seeing the whole picture. But what they're actually doing, if somebody were to take the information that's being given and do the right things with it, like let's say us, and then share it with you guys, that's a good thing. It's a very good thing. So I'm not sold on Q. Chris Holman said that. I'm not convinced. I don't know who, what, where, how, why, when, but I know that the stuff that they're doing is making a difference.
Yeah, it's the same thing with Steve Bannon. Okay, Steve Bannon is he's kind of a train. He's like a train, and it's going fast in one direction, and that's great. But he can knock things out of the way. He's kind of like a bull in a china shop.
Yeah.
Trump had to say, "Hey, I think you need to kind of exit because he had a vision, and he had Trump's vision, but Trump wasn't ready to go full on hard with the vision, and there was just some stuff that went on behind the scenes. I know Matt Drudge hates Steve Bannon like with a seething anger that just can't, like, boils his blood, because when I go to Drudge Report, it's always something anti-Bannon. However, It's the same thing with like a Q or even like a Tommy Lauren. If she says something good, you know, put it out there. If she doesn't, it doesn't, you know, certain people, you know, I don't really follow because I don't like their attitude. But other than that, Steve Bannon has a movie for you guys to watch. And maybe, I think when we're done here, we're going to watch this. This is...
Leah's planned out our evening.
Steve Bannon's latest production, Trump at War, exceeds 7 million views. Watch it this weekend. Steve Bannon's latest documentary, Trump at War, is a retelling of the historical Trump revolution in American politics and looks forward to the high-stakes midterm elections in November, which will help cement his legacy, good or bad. Trump at War features a cast of conservative and populist favorites, including Bannon, Corey Lewandowski. It's got Raheem Kassim, Eric Prince, Sebastian Gorka. Steve Bannon served as the White House chief strategist and senior counsel to the 45th president of the United States. Before joining the White House, Mr. Bannon served as the chief executive officer of Trump's historic insurgent 2016 presidential campaign.
Where can we view this? Where are we going to view it?
We are going to view it. It's Trump at War, and it's on YouTube. And
For free?
Yeah, I don't know why, though.
Maybe because they just
I
want to
wish
get the
they had
information
put it out
out
in the theaters. So I'm going to play the beginning here and give you an idea.
I'm going to check on your thing because it's...
This is for anyone who may be taken aback by my comments. I don't really care if you are. I hope you are. For years now, it has been, 2.5 years since he officially entered the political arena.
Donald Trump, congratulations. You have made this country a land where sleaze is not just the language of politics, but the political environment itself.
His supporters
Is she outside?
made excuses, continue to make excuses for him. You also might want to do some self-examination. What does it say about you that no matter what, you continue to make excuses for this man, for his vile behavior, this sort of vile behavior? Doesn't that make you just as bad, if not worse, than him? And for all of you who over the last few years have uttered that tired, lazy, uninformed, uneducated, ignorant response of calling me and others who point out racist behavior racist, you know what you can go do?
Fuck Trump.
We don't want to fucking hear from you. Get the fuck away from us. We don't want to fucking hear from you. We got nothing to fucking say to you. Get the fuck away from our...
Get out of his face.
We don't want anything to do with you. You're a fucking smash.
It's fucking over. The discourse is over. We have argued, we have pondered. The discourse is over.
We're not going to be polite anymore. We're going to fight back.
We begin with several developing stories here on a Friday night. First, the violent and bloody clashes outside a Donald Trump event.
Violent scuffles ensue, all of this becoming a part of a pattern of unrest fueled by antagonism and divisive rhetoric.
Kelly Burke is charged with disorderly conduct. Investigators say she was screaming obscenities at a teenage girl, all because she was wearing a t-shirt supporting President Donald Trump.
You're a piece of shit, bro. You're a fucking piece of shit.
Why did he get his head taken by somebody who dislikes Donald Trump?
Are you going to for the president? This poor shit, nigga.
Just make that hat great again and burn it right in the trash. Burn it.
Nonviolent work, and we are going to try to stop this.
What we've got to do is fight in Congress, fight in the courts, fight in the streets.
Donald Trump's campaign is surrounded by controversy this morning after a weekend of chaos and violence.
As a result of the culture of Trump supporters.
We need a revolution.
Are you suggesting that the entire Trump vote was racist and by racists?
I think yes.
I'm not going to. I don't think that's a Nazi. I'm not a Nazi. What are you doing, man?
The people of color who are attacked by their fellow citizens who feel emboldened to be publicly racist. Because the president is. His supporters, what does it say about you?
A terrifying night of violence as Donald Trump supporters were attacked by an angry mob waiting for them outside a Trump rally.
Getting like sucker punched in the back of the head.
You also might want to do some self-examination.
Another fist fight's about to break out right now. Trump supporter is getting pummeled right now.
One Trump supporter got knocked around when a fight broke
A
out.
homeless woman confronted as she showed her support for Donald Trump as a star on the Hollywood Walk of
You
Fame.
continue to make excuses for this man, for his vile behavior. Doesn't that make you just as bad, if not worse?
The protesters shaking cars, breaking taillights.
The mob even followed the Trump supporters to their cars.
We will punch some people in the face. Trump supporters harassed, beaten, and bloodied by mobs of protesters. Who ruled that?
These are anti-Donald Trump protesters.
He's bleeding bad. No, he's bleeding bad. He's bleeding bad. He's bleeding bad.
What country are we in? Is this stinking Venezuela? What is
I love how it
this?
says full movie explicit version. All right, so
What is this? I cannot live in a country where I am. You guys gave me a Trump hat,
right?
Okay,
Trump 2020.
Y'all have given me bumper stickers.
Yeah,
I have put some on my car, but to be quite honest, I am afraid to put some on my car. Okay, because people get them taken off. They get their headlights taken out.
Yeah.
In the back of my brain, see, I am a cautious person. Okay. I'm not afraid person. I'm not afraid of things. You know, I'm not saying that I wouldn't go to a Trump rally, but I am cautious, right? Hillary Clinton supporters we're not afraid, we'll never be afraid to wear an I'm with her shirt.
Right.
Because conservatives are not going to come up and pound their face in.
Right.
But over and over and over and over and over and over again, nice save.
Can you tell people what's happening?
Okay, our dog Jasper wears little diapers. Keeps her from going to tinkle on the floor,
And she falls over.
And she falls
And
over.
She was missing because she fell behind the chair.
And she was missing. She was missing. That's why I had to walk away because we couldn't find the dog anywhere. And she wasn't outside. She wasn't anywhere. She fell behind a chair. She just falls. So we found her.
Okay.
And Michelle was putting on the diaper, and she just everybody just went boom. So, anyways, this is insane. Like, I can't even. So when Donald Trump calls these people fake news,
right?
Because Don Lemon and I watched before the election. I watched Mika and Joe Scarborough. Because they were fair about Trump, and they actually liked him then. But I think that
somebody got on them and said, you know
No.
what, you can't.
I think it was the plastic surgery remark he made about her.
Could have been, yeah.
Mika's coming. Her face is falling off. She just had plastic surgery, and they want to come meet with me. But no, it's kind of gross. My face is like bleeding from being, just a little bit of. It's so
weird.
funny they had to explain it. It was just a little bit. My mom told me to do it because it wasn't good on television. My mom told me to do it. My mom told me it's okay if your mom tells you to cut your chin off. It's okay. It's really hilarious. But anyways, that's besides the point. But Trump did make a remark on that, and
right.
So they went full on like conspiracy theory,
right,
against Trump, and like literally they had people on there that like call Trump a racist all the time. Like in Don Lemon right there, like if you voted for Trump, you are
a racist.
A racist. So that gives them the right to like be mean to you, to not talk to you, to not give you any,
Hold
not
up
give
a
you
second,
the time
though,
of day.
on that statement, okay? Because lots of times people vote for something and they're ill-informed about the person that they're voting for or who they really are or their policies, right? So to blanket cover anybody and say just because they voted for someone that makes them a racist, it may make them an ill-informed person. Right. Let's play devil's advocate for a second.
Right.
But it doesn't automatically qualify you as a racist. So I want to go to Facebook Live because we have a new viewer who keeps asking, what are you resisting? What are you resisting? They won't tell me what you're resisting.
Okay.
Now, John Fitzgerald Bradley answered very well. America and our great values are under attack. Okay. And so if you're new to Resistance Chicks, we were the Resistance Chicks before the left decided that they wanted to.
And we can't change our name.
We're not going to change our name because you know what? Whichever way the wind blows, we are, regardless of who is in office, we are going to be resisting
the Federal Reserve,
globalists,
the income tax,
big bankers,
anybody who wants to control people's minds. So you've got Google, YouTube, Facebook.
Right.
They want to control people's minds. They're pretending to be the resistance against Donald Trump.
Yes.
Okay?
We're resisting something far more nefarious than you can imagine.
Alex Jones, yes, we do watch Alex Jones, and he had said, if you're watching this, you are the resistance. And I do know that there is a war out for my mind. And I have from my childhood wanted to think independently, not go along with what everybody else is saying. It's called the public school mindset.
Yeah, I'm resisting the fact that you can put us in some sort of 1960s or 50s cartoon where you see the assembly line and you see people getting stamped, right? As public school students, you are that assembly line product where the globalists and the big bankers want you to think a certain way.
How
and
many
they put
hours?
you on that assembly line and they want you to think exactly the way they tell you. We are resisting that.
How many hours do you think you should work a week?
Very good question.
How many hours should you work a week? You're going to say 40. Why? Because that was put into you.
Right.
As a public school child.
We have a friend of ours who wants to be a farmer, but you have to make money and you can't really make money being a farmer. And so she has broken down. I can be a massage therapist and I can work for 20 hours a week. And then that leaves me 20 hours a week for farming. And I love my friend dearly, like more than I can say. However, Lee and I were talking about it in the car today, and that gives you the public school mindset because I said farming is just our life. There is no hours. If you're working farming, your salary, because when the pigs get out or the coyotes come, there is no hour limit to what you're working. It's called life. We can't put an hour on an hour limit on how much we should work and the public, and we should just be living, right? We should be doing our laundry. We should be canning. We should be growing food. And there is no hour limit on that. It's just called life. But the public school mindset that we are resisting
tells you that you're not a good person. You're not full-time unless you work 40 hours a week. If you work 39 hours and 59 minutes.
Right. You're not full-time.
You're not full-time.
Right.
You're not worthy of whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, I hope that answers your question to what
Chris Holman says, resist the devil and his evil ways. The devil is behind all of this craziness.
Preach it.
We're just resisting the devil.
Trump. Okay, here we go. Trump warns any rock throwing from migrant caravan towards our military will be considered like a firearm. Here's the thing. This migrant caravan, is it that somebody has just said, oh, it's 800 miles away. Why is he acting up? I'm going to bring you this video. In fact, let me bring you that first. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. All right, here's CNN asking Trump supporters about how they feel about the birthright citizenship and troops at the border. Now, if you weren't aware, Trump said, tweeted out, he was being interviewed by Axios, and he was asked about this birthright citizenship that he wants to end or whatever. And CNN's title literally says, Trump incorrectly says that he can unilaterally change the 14th Amendment. He's not saying he can change the 14th Amendment. However, legal scholars have come up to say that there's a section of the 14th Amendment that everybody kind of ignores. It says, and subject to the jurisdiction thereof.
Right.
Okay?
Meaning if you are a diplomat here in the United States.
Exactly. So the man who wrote it,
your kids born here can't become American citizens.
Explained it. The birthright citizenship. And he says, of course, it's not going to apply to ambassadors. Of course, it won't apply to foreign soldiers. Okay? And if you're subject to another jurisdiction, if you're a subject of Mexico, okay? If you're going back and you've got Mexican citizenship, then, and you're not, you haven't become American, then your child doesn't become American.
Amazing.
But what it was written for was to enfranchise all the black people who were brought over here during slavery. It was for, because the Dred Scott, was it Dred Scott? The South wanted to say, yeah, well, they're not going to be citizens.
Mm-hmm.
The 14th Amendment was specific.
Right.
They're here. They're subject to our jurisdiction.
Exactly.
They're under our laws. They're under our rules. They're citizens.
Yes.
It was powerful.
Yes.
Okay? But if these people are going back to their country, back and forth,
Right.
and they're subjects to another country, They're not subject to. They're not American subjects.
Original intent is very important. That's what the Supreme Court justices are supposed to do. They're supposed to go back and interpret the Constitution based on original intent. So since we have it explained by the person who came up with this, it's completely written out. It's completely explained. There is no question. There's no room for broad interpretation of the original intent behind this. And that's why Trump can unilaterally come in and say, you know what, we're taking this back to original intent.
Basically what he's saying is, all right, something's got to give. I bet, let's see if there's something on the books that we can already do.
Whoever found this,
something already in the Constitution that we can stop the madness.
Right.
What's happening here? We have all these illegals coming in here, having babies. They're called anchor babies. You have Russians coming here, going to
but it's okay.
Fancy
It's
hospitals,
okay to send the Russians back.
Giving their children dual citizenship and going back to Russia.
Amazing.
That's not what the 14th Amendment is about. All right, so here we go.
Last minute. So not a campaign stunt in your opinion?
Oh, God, no.
If they're weeks away from arriving, why announce this troop deployment now, just before the midterm election?
Would you rather be safe than sorry? Would you not rather have warning to get out of a hurricane's way if they know it's coming?
So you don't think the timing is suspect at all?
No.
You know what I find suspect? Is that when CNN asks the question, they're always playing the devil's advocate.
I know.
They're always playing negative. They never pose to Hillary Clinton supporters anything positive about Trump.
Right.
And they never pose anything positive to Trump supporters.
I know.
They are the anti-Trump channel. I mean, seriously, you can't even hide it.
I don't think it's a campaign stunt.
Not at all. Not at all.
Adding another 5,200 troops to protect the border when the Caravan is 800 miles away.
Let me rephrase this for you. CNN, if you want to be a trusted name in news and not appear biased, you would phrase a question that says, what do you think?
Right.
You wouldn't say,
wouldn't
they're
lead
miles
it.
away. It's so
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah.
Are you defend it now?
Why now?
Why not now?
Well, we're just days away from the election. You don't think it has anything to do with that?
I don't think so.
And it's not just the caravan of migrants that has these supporters fired up. It's also the president's false claim that he can end birthright citizenship, the 14th Amendment, through executive order. Do you believe Donald Trump when he says that he can change the 14th Amendment with just an executive order?
I think he can. I think it'll go to the Supreme Court, though. But I think he has the right to make it.
Even though his own Speaker of the House, the Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan, says that he can't do it with just an executive order. It has to be a constitutional amendment, be voted on by Congress and the states.
I think Ryan is absolutely wrong.
Neither he or anyone else we interviewed thought the president's play on birthrights was a campaign ploy. He's making it sound like he alone can just get rid of it. And doesn't that sound like a stunt to you just so close to the election?
I'm not going to say it's a stunt. I mean, this whole thing, the whole politics today is what it is. So the rules have changed, and I think he's read the rule book.
There are legal authorities on both sides of this question who are researching this in depth before the president does this. While this idea has been floated by the president, and I think it's a wonderful idea, I do think that he's not going to go off and do something on his own. He's going to have legal authorities on both sides.
But he has already stated it as fact that he can get rid of it.
Has he signed it yet?
With an executive order. I didn't say he had
signed it yet. He has floated the idea, which is well supported in Middle America.
So they were totally
whoever that woman is.
Owned.
She's
own this. Okay, so Trump. Here we go. So Trump talks about the migrant program here. I want to go ahead and play you this.
How do you plan to firing upon any of these people? Could you see it?
I hope not. I hope not. It's the
Are you going to fire upon these people?
military. I hope there won't be that. But I will tell you this: anybody throwing stones, rocks, like they did to Mexico and the Mexican military, Mexican police, where they badly hurt police and soldiers of Mexico, we will consider that a firearm. Because there's not much difference when you get hit in the face with a rock, which, as you know, it was very violent a few days ago, very, very violent. That break-in, it was a break-in of a country. They broke into Mexico. And you look at what's happening in Guatemala, just to mention Guatemala, along with El Salvador and Honduras. It's disgraceful that those countries aren't able to stop this, because they should be able to stop it before it starts. And the United States pays them a fortune. And we're looking at not doing that anymore, because why should we be doing that when they do nothing for us?
Wow.
I could never
It was
understand.
pretty. I haven't heard Trump that stark about something in a long time.
I could never understand how you can throw a rock at a police officer and not.
Right. It's a weapon. You have just
Right.
assaulted a police officer.
So the Migrant Caravan, you think that they're not being funded by left-wing radical millionaires? They're, quote, these poor people
The poor
who
people.
are fleeing their country, I'm sure speak fluent, wonderful English and have a wonderful lawyer amongst their midst, because the Migrant Caravan members are suing Trump over shockingly unconstitutional asylum crackdown. President Trump's rhetoric about the organized caravans of migrants plodding towards the U.S. border has been nothing short of incendiary, as the president has threatened to send as many as 15,000 troops to the border to stop the mobs. He's going to build massive tent cities to house the would-be asylum seekers as they wait their hearings in an effort to end the abuse of the U.S. asylum seekers. Well, apparently these remarks haven't sat well with the members of the caravan and their shadowy financial bankers, because a group of 12, I'm sure, 6 of them children.
I found Jasper for you. Yeah, she was
Have
behind the
filed a lawsuit against Trump, claiming his efforts to beef up security along the border, threats to deprive them of asylum. You can give her some cheese on her food.
So hang on a second.
Oh, I will.
We
You tell me.
have illegal people trying to enter and invade our nation. And somehow, within America's laws, they have decided that they can file a lawsuit. Now, I am not a legal brainiac. I know very little when it comes to the law, so I'm not going to even pretend. But I think, and maybe smarter people in the chat can correct me on this, but you can't take something to court against an American citizen if you aren't a citizen of this country, can you?
If you never even set foot in the country?
Especially if you haven't even set foot in the country. I'm gonna say I'm curious if that's a possibility, because I don't think that it is.
Yeah, no, it's totally weird. It's totally weird. So yeah, the Fifth Amendment stipulates that no person shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. Ironically, none other than what it goes on to say. So that's, I guess, what they want to use. They're saying the lawsuit points to Trump's claim that he will prevent the caravan from entering the United States. It claims that the president cannot stop asylum seekers by employing the military when they have a fair claim.
Hold up. Do you guys remember the footage of Hillary Clinton saying that an unborn child, sadly, doesn't have any constitutional rights because they haven't gotten here yet? So, you ain't got none. You don't have any constitutional rights because you are not here yet. And when you do get here, you are not a citizen. So you don't have constitutional rights. Those only apply to citizens.
All right, so this is actually crazily weird, but yeah, I wanted to point that out to you. All right, so Pueblo Sin Fronteras, Town Without Border Group, is organizing and advising these migrants on how to apply for refugee status. This is a George Soros-funded group.
So a lot of the immigrants unaware of the political realities on the ground in the United States and what President Trump is talking about. We have talked to a group here, Pueblo Sin Fronteras, that is helping to organize and educate the folks here about the asylum laws in the United States. They don't want to talk on camera, but they are helping to organize the meetings for this migrant caravan, and they say they are a nonprofit and volunteers who receive a lot of anonymous donations, but no one major funder.
No one major funder.
Jacob Rascone.
Liar, liar, pants on fire.
I think there was a large funder of George Soros there handing out that.
Asylum is for refugees of persecution, not
Thank
economic dangerous migrants backed by radical Democrats who want to erase borders, destabilize America, and register new voters. The caravans were offered jobs, food, housing, and more by Mexico. The leftist has told them to deny this and march on.
From the beginning, the Honduras Caravan reflected a narrative of hope and opportunity, invoking a sense of sympathy towards the migrants as they flee economic and civil hardship. But as the movement grows by the thousands, seemingly overnight, Washington critics sense partisan involvement.
Something like that, it ain't cheap to put on. To make sure that everyone's fed, everyone's clothed, everyone's drinking water, that they've got their transports that you see, that they've got these flatbed trucks driving them around. You know, it's not a cheap operation. And even if it was a bare bones operation, it's not a cheap operation.
Middle East Forum fellow Raheem Kassam shares evidence linking the caravan to big business and politically funded organizations.
When you look at sort of who's behind it, who's involved with it, then you start to understand why the numbers are burgeoning in the way that they are. You know, you have a cadre now of NGOs based both in the United States and in Central America, politicians, diplomats, and grassroots activists who are funded by some even big American corporates like Amazon and Ralph's, the Californian supermarket chain, and this money is being disseminated into these activist groups.
These groups have always existed, says Kassam, and continue their asylum exploits under so-called grassroots campaigns.
These caravans aren't new. They've been going on for decades now, and the organizers have remained the same. You know, they might change their names, but they're the same people. Pueblos Sin Fronteras. It's a group that's affiliated with another group, APOFAM, which is another group orchestrating with a halfway house funded by Quakers in Mexico, which is called the Casa de los Amigos.
This organization, says Kassam, is headed by Democrat Daniel Hernandez Joseph, a former diplomatic liaison who was based in Washington. Kassam emphasized these groups are funded by Democrats, as there is not one Republican listed among their donorship.
And so you can start to see how all of this is taking place. Money coming from Democrats, registered Democrats, who have given to people like John Kerry and Barbara Boxer and Harry Reid, who have also been donating and listed as patrons to groups like that. These people have always sought to undermine the US border. They always have sought to undermine national sovereignty. If we don't do this legwork now and expose this stuff now, think about how this is going to be in 5 years.
I love that it's taking Raheem Kassam to talk about our issues on our border here in the United States.
I'm an immigrant, and Trump represents my views on immigration way better than Democrats do. As we've all noticed, the immigration debate changed vastly in the last 5, 10, and 20 years. Once upon a time, back in 2014, Hillary Clinton could say, we have to send a clear message. Just because your child gets across the border doesn't mean your child gets to stay.
Oh.
Hillary Clinton. Chuck Schumer in 2009. Illegal immigration is wrong, plain and simple. Obama, 2013, says that real immigration reform means strong border security, learning English, and going back to the line behind folks trying to get here, going to the back of the line behind folks trying to get here legally. So not long ago, Democratic leaders talked in rational, truthful ways about immigration. But now, many Democratic Party leaders and elected officials espouse open borders, uncontrolled immigration, and sanctuary cities. You can Google Harry Reid immigration, and we'll play that 2 minutes. It's like a 2-minute clip. Okay. You'll find it. To understand this, we have to apply the journalistic 5 W's of who, what, when, where, why, and how, plus the relevant follow the money. When immigration debates started changing gradually in the last decade, but extremely fast during the Obama years. During these years, President Obama had high deportation rates, but the rhetoric toward illegal immigrants changed drastically in their favor. Starting in the Obama years, immigration advocates and their media supporters succeeded in blurring lines between legal and illegal immigration. They constantly and purposely talked about immigration and immigrants without qualifying the terms legal or illegal. Many Americans are deeply annoyed with this crucial lack of distinction. Further, immigration advocates succeeded in selling the ideas through repetition that no human being is illegal. They kept saying that over and over again. No human being is legal. No human. Oh my gosh, if you've done something wrong, if you drink and drive, you've done something illegal. Okay? If you immigrated here, but you did something illegally. You migrated here, you are an illegal migrant.
No, you're just undocumented.
Who and why? The unforeseen forces and drive debate toward increased illegal immigration are, of course, typically corporate interests that provide huge campaign and foundation donations to the ruling class. They benefit the most from uncontrolled mass migration because they enjoy cheap labor that illegal immigrants provide. Go ahead, Michelle.
All right.
What I meant was go ahead and tell them what we were talking about cheap labor. today.
Okay, all right. So here's
These big corporations.
Here's the deal. I love when the left loves to tout that the, Trump supporters are racist.
Yeah.
Trump supporters are the ones that say, listen, we want Mexicans to stay in their country, to get in line, to come here legally. When they come here legally, they will have the ability to get a job and become a citizen of the United States and do things the way a normal American citizen would do them. Now, we have Mexicans that come here in droves and they do work. They do that work for very, very cheap. They do it harder and they do it better than regular American people. It's just a fact. All right? So when the left says we're the racist, and yet they're the ones that tout bringing the Mexicans over here so we can have better labor and pay less for it. And if it was a white guy doing that labor, they would get paid more. Then the left is automatically the racist because they view Mexicans as lesser than white Americans. Any kind of American. They are the white supremacists. They want the cheap labor.
Their main, what they say is, well, if they're willing to take the wage, then what is wrong with paying somebody 50 cents an hour to pick strawberries?
I'm gonna tell you guys something. If somebody does a job better than you can do it, they deserve to be paid more than what you get paid.
If a Mexican can put on a roof 4 times as fast as a white person, they deserve to be paid 4 times as much.
Exactly. And yet they're doing the job better, they're doing it faster, and they're getting paid less. And
how
the
does
left
that even work?
will say, but listen, they're willing to do it for less.
Wait.
And oh wait, my favorite is help the dog.
She's dead.
All right. I don't know if anything got unplugged. Oh, wow. That was really... Hang on. My favorite is, as I fix the camera here.
That was Sydney with the wires.
But don't worry. They send that money back to their families in Mexico. And so they're getting paid more because they're utilizing that money for more than what an American would use it for because their money is like doubled. So,
or tripled or quadrupled.
But they still have to live here, 20 to an apartment, okay?
Like 15 men in a little truck. Have you ever seen them down the highway?
We got a chance to, the privilege, I would say, to speak to these Mexican migrants here that put on our roof. And they wanted to buy our chickens. They were very, very kind, but they told us back in Mexico, we have this. They looked at our farm. They looked at our pigs and our chickens. We have this. We have cow. We have goats. We have pigs. We have chickens. They have left their families. This one guy has been gone for 3 years, hasn't seen his family in 3 years. And yet we have this elitist mindset on the left and on the right that says if they want to be here. They wouldn't be here doing this job if they didn't want to be doing it. They are sacrificing everything. They are working harder than you have ever worked in your entire life. Okay, almost guaranteed. They're getting paid a pittance compared to what a white American would be paid to do that job. And yet we have the left saying we're not the white supremacists, but we do want them to come over here and work for next to nothing.
They can be your nanny.
They can be our nanny. They can pick our strawberries. I'm not the white supremacist, but I think I'm totally okay with that. Let them come over here and work for cheap.
If the leftists want to prove they're not white supremacists, they would pay them the same and not under the table, because that's what most of them do. It's under the table. And they would treat them as they would treat an American citizen.
I'm sorry. It makes me angry. This white supremacist mindset.
Because it's slavery.
It's
a mindset. It's the slavery mindset said, well, black people, you know, they're not as smart as us. They kind of need somebody to take care of them. Yeah. And they're willing to do it. Kind of, they're here. Don't you see? I mean, yeah, we have to put a few in line. Have you ever seen some of the documentaries out there where you show illegal migrants in slaughterhouses, the unsanitary conditions, the danger that they're in, the horrible things that happen to them. These migrants are not treated on the up and up in all cases. I'm not saying that they're not, but here's the thing. What they're saying, not you, what they're saying is that Mexicans don't want to be around their family. The men don't want to go home to their wife and children at the end of the day and hug them and hold them and make a home. Like they're happier being here, being our slaves and sending money back.
Yeah.
You guys, I wouldn't
It's
wish,
sickening.
but see, when we send when we send deployments of military men overseas, we're like, we gotta entertain them. Look at the sacrifice that they're making.
Right.
It's awful to be away from your family. When you see each other, you hug and cry,
which is true.
You guys, I want Mexico to be great again. I want El Salvador to be great again. I think if we put the wall up, it'll force those countries to be great again, because what they're doing is they're literally bleeding their best people,
right,
and their worst people, but also some of their best people, some of their best workers who could make Mexico great again.
Right.
There are cartels, there are communist governments.
Right.
These are things that destabilize their countries that they actually really love. No man wants to wake up and say, you know what I want to do today? I want to live in an apartment with 9 other men, be away from my wife and my kids for 3 years, and just send them back money. That is not sane. Okay? That is not what they're saying.
But if they're willing to do it, Leah, then they want to do it. And they want to be doing that.
So when we talk about European migration versus American migration, the European migrants are not coming working like Mexicans. They're not putting on your roofs. They're not doing anything. They're just sitting around. So it's totally different. At the same time, the Democrats used to be, go ahead and play the Here I Read.
All right.
This is where all Democrats and Republicans agreed on something once upon a time.
Oh, wait, that's not what I didn't open up the right one. I thought it would be that one.
Is it like a
here?
I think this is the one you want.
Target acquired. Begin transmission.
Sorry about it being loud.
If making it easy to be an illegal alien isn't enough, how about offering a reward for being an illegal immigrant? No sane country would do that, right? Guess again. If you break our laws by entering this country without permission and give birth to a child, we reward that child with U.S. citizenship and guarantee of full access to all public and social services this society provides. And that's a lot of services. Is it any wonder that 2/3 of the babies born at taxpayer expense at county-run hospitals in Los Angeles are born to illegal alien mothers?
How is it that he can say it, but when Trump says it, it's like racist? This is like the dystopian world that we live in, and we want to bang our heads against the wall because literally, I haven't seen the Democrats all come together and say, shout, we were wrong.
Right.
We were wrong.
Yeah.
And that's what really causes people to go insane is when, the sky is blue, the sky is blue. No. It's,
But I do want you guys to recognize, and that's what Leah wanted me to point out, that it really does boil down to the next time somebody says to you that Trump's people are white supremacists, you tell them which party is wanting the slave labor to come in here and is happy for them to work for less than what a white person would be paid.
I would say American citizen.
Than an American citizen.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, valid. But still, either way, that is the party of white supremacy. They want the slave cheap labor and they are happy. They are giddy to have it.
Yeah. They're not even shy about it. They don't even.
Now, somebody on Facebook Live earlier had said that Jane says, I don't agree with that. I have worked with many and they're not that hardworking. Well, I'll stop there. Well, Jane, I'm not going to call you a liar. I can't speak to your experience. I'm sure there's always people that don't work hard, no matter who. All I can speak to is my personal experience, my working with them, my working with people that hire them, my working with people that see them all over the city. And we have a joke, and it's valid. And every time we say it to somebody, like I was out there and I told Leah today, we did pumpkins yesterday, and we probably chucked, I don't know, 300-400 a piece. And I said, yesterday I worked like a Mexican. Today, I just work like an American. I was tired. I couldn't. It's just a joke. You work like a Mexican. And it's a compliment because you're working hard. You're working efficiently. You're working skilled. Okay, so that's what we experience in our day today.
The Mexicans or whoever they were, I don't know exactly where they're from, who put our roof on, put it on in a day. He was running around our roof, bang, 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 bang.
They got here at 7:30. The roof was done by 4.
I have seen American citizens put on roofs like a couple days.
Yeah.
And so, the same with landscaping or drywall or painting. I know people who hire people to do it. Like, I always hire the Mexicans. I mean, they get it up like that. It takes the other people, twice as long.
Jane, I don't know if you've ever done drywall. It's not easy. There are some American citizens that can do it well, but I have seen Mexican crews come in and boom, and it is perfect, and it is up, and it is done. And drywall is hard work, very hard work, and skilled. To float drywall mud so it looks seamless is difficult.
Right. So, random news. Dun-dun-dun. Now we're switching. Trump's got this weird thing going on. I don't quite understand what it is. A swift and severe Trump administration readies its best hackers for a cyber attack against Russia. The Pentagon and members of the U.S. intelligence community have not so secretly agreed on a rough plan for an offensive cyber attack against Russia in the event the Kremlin interferes with the 2018 midterm elections on November 6th, according to Yahoo News, citing a current and former senior U.S. officials. In preparation for this potential use, U.S. military hackers have been given the go-ahead to gain access to Russian cyber systems that they feel is needed to let the plan unfold quickly. The effort constitutes one of the first major cyber battle plans organized under a new government policy, enabling potential offensive operations to proceed more quickly once the parameters have been worked out in advance. So far, national security officials have reported limited efforts by Russians to compromise political organizations and campaigns. There is a concern that Moscow might unleash more aggressive interference. Now, my question is, what y'all gonna do about Google? What y'all gonna do about Google? I don't understand.
I think, and when this came out back in August, I think we talked about this, and my concern then is still my concern now that you're bringing it up again, and that is... This is great until it can be used against you.
Right. Yeah. All right. So Art DeSoto, the vice president of the National Border Patrol Council, was on Laura Ingraham on Thursday night, last night. And the two discussed the caravans traveling northward through Mexico. And I want to play for you this tiny clip.
Safety is very important. Homeland, those concepts for women is, as a woman, you want to be safe.
Correct.
And not everybody's a criminal. A lot of people just want to come to work. We all know that. But sadly, that hasn't been the case. Even right near here, Mesa, Arizona, we've had a big problem in Mesa, Arizona. Grant Ronenbeck shot in the face.
But you don't know. That's the thing. If you don't vet these people properly, you don't know. You're here in Arizona. Close to 40% of all the drugs that enter this country illegally come through here. And we're coming up on elections. Wow. And I think it's very important that people are going to realize when you go to that poll, do you want border security? 40% of drugs come through Arizona. Do you want border security, or do you want somebody that doesn't care about our borders?
Cinema is not good on the borders. She's terrible on the borders. McSally is the only person who can vote.
So sorry, my Arizona.
That is my chiefest concern right now, because the heroin epidemic and the drug epidemic hits us very, very close to home. We work down with Teen Challenge and Justin, and it makes me angry that the left wants to allow the drugs to come through. They want to keep what I would call is susceptible America, that is maybe of lower standard of living.
Yeah.
And maybe more impressionable, to remain low. They want to kill them off, and they want to keep them dumbed down. They want to keep them subdued. That is why they want the open borders. We think that they want the open borders because they want cheap strawberries. Yeah, bonus. We think that they want open borders because they want to bring in the illegal voters. Yeah, bonus. I believe that their plan is far more nefarious, and it has to do with the drug epidemic that we have here in the United States that is killing off our young people by the thousands.
And, and just making it so that employers can't find people to do the jobs.
Right.
So, Republican Steve King erupts after liberal hack compares him to synagogue mass killer at a town hall. So, we had a horrible attack happen at a synagogue. It was a hate crime
in Pennsylvania
that was from some crazy person who had crazy conspiracy theories that all the Jews were caused and said we need to go kill like a 97-year-old Jew sitting just in a, temple. Trump has been questioned as to why he would even bother going to the synagogue. Now, the rabbi of the synagogue had said that he was surprised by how warm Trump was and how wonderful he greeted him. And I got to find the video. Thank God I just remembered it. It's such a good video of Trump in the hospital. You guys have to see this. But I want you to see this first.
As I'm sure all of us have already heard, this Saturday there was a shooting at a synagogue in Pittsburgh that tragically left 11 people dead. And the terrorist who committed this crime, he was quoted as saying, "They bring invaders in that kill our people. I can't sit back and watch our people get slaughtered." You, Steve King, have been quoted as saying, "We can't restore our civilization with other people's babies." You and the shooter both share an ideology that is...
No, don't you do that.
Anti-immigration.
Do not associate me with that shooter. I knew you were an ambusher when you walked in the room, but there's no basis for that, and you get no question, and you get no answer. No, you're done. We don't play these games here in Iowa. No, you're done. You crossed the line. It's not tolerable to accuse me to be associated with a guy that shot 11 people in Pittsburgh. I am a person who has stood with Israel from the beginning. That the length of that nation is the length of my life. And I've been with them all along, and I will not answer your question, and I'll not listen to another word from you. And this is over if you keep talking. This is over if you don't stop talking. I'm leaving.
I think he's given up. I think he's given his answer. I think that his answer is his answer. Yes, please. Sir,
stop it.
Sir, that's it.
You're done. I would ask whoever is guarding this door to lead this man out of the room.
I live and work in the 4th District. My wife lives and works in the 5th District. My kids live and attend school.
Let's wait till he gets out, and then I'll take your question, sir.
He took the free food, though. Look at that.
Stop it. Nobody's going to listen to you. You're gone. We don't behave like that in this country.
To get a sincere answer.
Go out and stand out front with a sign.
Wow. You know what? Didn't he remind you of somebody who had been paid?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Somebody who'd just been paid.
Well, yeah, because he walked out with his free food.
Okay, so this is going to be heartwarming. You're going to love this.
All right, so we want this one.
Yeah.
Now, let me pause it before we can... Hey, look, Patriot Gallery while in the interim.
Well, I was just watching from the corner of my eye. Trump the other day called that Antifa, the skinny armed people. They can't fight, do anything. They're skinny arms.
He said that?
Yeah, he said Antifa. Then they go home to their basements with mommy and daddy get in trouble.
They are
He's a skinny guy.
They are the skinny armed people. Can I just, and listen, this is not a shaming. I don't care your size.
It's like people who get their arm out of a cast.
But
you know it. It's like getting an arm or your leg out of a cast.
I don't care what you look like. However, if you're going to try to ask me not to look at this weird phenomena that I am seeing amongst young millennial males that dress like girls in their little skinny jeans and put on a flannel like they're some sort of lumberjack and wear their, like they have to protect their face from the cold with their beards and stuff like that. And their arms are literally a third the size of mine. Okay. I mean, they can't do anything. They can't lift anything. They look grubby, like they haven't had a shower. Okay, they can't do anything. I don't know what they're eating. Maybe they're all vegans. It's embarrassing. It is sad. And it is happening. It's like all young males. This is happening to them. And I'm going to guarantee you, just like the people on Paul Joseph Watson's video from whatever, that their sperm counts are down.
Oh,
their testosterone levels are down.
No,
everything about them. The estrogen is probably up because they're drinking it in the water. Yeah. Get an Alexa Pure filter.
Yep.
From Alex Jones. Be a man. Take some, what is that?
They're
alpha, whatever.
They're unigender.
No, what's Alex Jones' male
Alpha
stuff?
power.
No, it's called
Caveman.
something. Yeah, I don't know. Go get something. Go do something. Something manly. Go chop some wood. All right. Sorry, rant over.
Thank you, President Trump.
Thank you.
Keep it up.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you all very much. No, thank you, sir. Great job.
Thank you, Mr. President. We love you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Can I shake your hand, sir?
Thank you so much.
Oh my! Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, President Trump.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, darling. That's a great gesture.
Thank you, First Lady.
Oh my gosh. I can watch this 500 times.
I don't want to know. This guy just got up. Look, thank you so much.
I love these people.
Thank you.
Thank you. The operating room, right?
They're my favorites.
When Trump shakes your hand, there's no problem. Anyway, thank you all very much.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you, darling. Good job.
You too. Thank you.
I love you, Ivanka. Nobody ever heard of you.
Thank you, Ivanka. Thank you, Jared.
That's hilarious. That is. Oops, I'm going to press replay.
Those people weren't paid.
No, they were not paid. Oh my gosh, that was so genuine.
It was
really
awesome.
enjoyable.
It was awesome. So if you guys aren't following Project Veritas, then you need to be.
Yeah, they dropped some new stuff.
Bombshell after bombshell after bombshell every single day. This Beto guy, he is. We have a friend who actually ran into him at a
Beto O'Rourke down in Texas.
Down in Texas, he's when his wife dies, I think he's gonna inherit like $1 billion or something. He's a super rich guy. Why are these social commies always like come from like super rich families? It's absolutely funny to me because they don't, I don't see them like randomly giving things out.
You need a snack.
But undercover footage by Project Veritas on Thursday raises some serious legal and ethical questions, where the Beto campaign uses or talks about using the campaign funds to literally fund the migrant caravan.
Wow.
I just hope nobody that's the wrong person finds out about this.
For me, I can ignore the rules and I don't mind breaking the rules and I can defend any position. Yeah, I was going to use the vans too, so we could probably use that. Could we use the vans?
Yeah.
I'm thinking of we're going to use that to give some of those immigrants rides to like the airport, to the bus station. Why not?
Yeah.
I'm done being nice. I'm done being professional. Because nothing is professional. None of this is like that. There's a rule.
Yeah, like I don't ever repeat this on stuff, but like if you just say we're buying food for some event, like the Halloween events, because there's block walks coming up for Halloween.
Have you been able to go and help out anymore with the other people? Mm-hmm.
I did yesterday. Tonight we get more. So it's, I don't know how that's gonna go.
Tonight you get more.
There's more people coming.
More people coming? Oh wow.
Yeah. There's 200 more.
So Jody knows that
Well, she doesn't know that we use the prepaid card, but it's okay. She doesn't need to. Yeah, she doesn't need to. If you caught in some sort of violation, that's like a $50,000 fine. Damn. Yeah. And you got caught with it, it's $50,000. It happens more than once. It's a lot of money.
I'll tell her and stuff. The thing is that, yeah, as long as we're not advertising it. I don't really know. Those are cat questions, but they said it was fine. I knew.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I told you about it.
Yeah.
I have the messages to prove it, so. Yeah.
So you told Jody or?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I told Jody and I told my directors.
I know that we're using some of the campaign resources to help with the migrants, and like I just didn't want anyone to get in trouble with that. Like I didn't want them to ask me any questions about people using resources.
I'm going to show you this.
Great distance between like me organizing rides and the campaign.
I'm turning my attention to the Lone Star State, Congressman Beto O'Rourke, a rising Democratic star.
The kind of bitterness and name-calling, partisanship that has unfortunately defined so much of the national conversation. You can add more to it, or you can stay focused on the future and why you did this in the first place. You know?
We're not allowed to organize rides, and it's a huge legal liability out. So they wouldn't let us do that. And so I just wrote about it in this other email.
But like, if they're undocumented, can you get a driver's license?
Yeah. I've been being nice. I've been being professional.
You know,
I'm James O'Keefe here in El Paso, Texas, on the Mexico-United States border. Our latest investigation is on Beto O'Rourke, and this one is a blockbuster. These videos you're about to see appear to show Beto's campaign workers and staff, all the way up to his campaign manager, Jody Casey, knowingly using campaign resources and funds to help assist, subsidize illegal aliens entering the United States, some of them from the Migrant Caravan. Now, a lot of serious legal issues in this video. Section 1001 violations, FEC violations, a lot of serious questions that need to be answered. The voters of Texas are going to want those answers from Beto O'Rourke. Check this out.
What's happening? So there's that migrant caravan. A few of them got here already, and they're dropping them off really close to Missouri.
Who? The Hondurans?
The Hondurans, yeah. It's this holy something church, but it's actually really close here to downtown. Okay. She said, so she's gonna text me the address. I'm gonna go get some food right now. There's some stuff that we can drop off because they need food and blankets. So, anybody that has blankets and shit. We got permission to give them some of these waters, so we're gonna take some of these waters too.
Dominique Chacon is a field manager for the Beto O'Rourke Senate campaign in the campaign's headquarters in El Paso. He got the tip about the migrants and marshaled the campaign staff to act. Whether or not it was legal did not seem to concern him.
I don't have a problem with you helping anybody that you want to help.
Sure.
But they used campaign finance funds.
Oops.
That you cannot do.
Can't do it.
If you want to have an office collection out of your own pocket, that's not what happened. So I want you to check out Project Veritas and that whole video because it's definitely a bombshell.
Right.
Beto responds to undercover Veritas video, insists campaign is above board. Representative Beto O'Rourke responded to allegations by Senator Ted Cruz that O'Rourke staffers have been illegally funneling campaign funds to help transport Honduran nationals traveling in the Central American caravan headed towards the U.S. border.
But Beto knows nothing about that.
In Friday comments, Cruz cited this undercover sting that we just showed you. Cruz referred to the video while campaigning in Fort Worth, telling a crowd of about 300 that a video broke this morning of his campaign staffers taking campaign money, apparently using it to give it to people who are coming here illegally. O'Rourke responded and says, we're looking at this, but anyone who's trying to politicize this is trying to win an election based on fear. I want to make sure that we're focused on issues and things that matter to Texas. You think that illegal immigration does not matter to Texas. That your campaign is funding this illegal immigration. James O'Keefe, Project Veritas, challenged O'Rourke on Friday to make records public. He says, let's see the FEC records then. If the campaign is above board, then make the records public. If appropriately reported, then why were the staff on the video saying nobody needs to know? I just hope nobody that's the wrong person finds out about this. If you get caught in some sort of violation that's like $50,000, I can just ignore the rules. And then John Brennan has something stupid to say.
This is amazing to me that James O'Keefe organizes all this. Because here's the deal. He has to have people infiltrated everywhere because you never know what you're going to get. Okay? Obviously he suspects, right, that there may be some fraud going on. But I think that Jasper keeps getting stuck behind that chair. I think that y'all should be afraid. If you are the left and you are watching this, and you're not, I know, but they should be afraid I would never say anything to anyone ever, okay? Unless I've known you for like 10 years.
Right.
Like in this kind of scenario, these people are stupid. That's what they are. You're just dumb. Not smart. Lacking the old intelligence.
Yeah. So then, this is another video. Regardless of who is funding these caravans, we should all agree that letting these people in the country without vetting them is foolish. So here we have. I think that they're sending their very best. That's what I'm going to do, throw rocks at the... And I'm just going to show how mad I am.
If you guys ever have discussions with people on illegal immigration or the caravan that is coming, grab that video and then remind them that these people have cut in front of the line of people that have been on lists for
they're
years.
throwing rocks and Molotov. They're trying to take down the helicopter with rocks, and they're so excited when they hit the. If you're excited, if you hit the helicopter, you don't. This isn't people that you want in your country.
No way.
Lots of women and children right here. Probably part of MS-13, man. I got a Molotov cocktail. When I throw it at the... No one's gonna know what I did, man. No one's gonna know what I did, man.
Alright, so I want to, when we watch these things, I think that it's really important to bring it back to hope. Chris Holman had left a comment in the chat that kind of reminded me. He's like, remember, we win in the end. Now that's the Christian standpoint, which is obvious and true. But we are in the middle of a movement that is happening worldwide, that is a movement of hope, a movement of clarity, of sound-mindedness, of people thinking for themselves, turning their hearts back to the way God intended for us to live. And it is a very exciting time to be alive. So I kind of view this as the Lilliputans. If you've ever seen Gulliver's Travels, the Lilliputans are really, really, really tiny people. And they can capture Gulliver, right? But they really are much smaller. And we are much bigger. And they don't win. They can't win. These are just tactics that they're using to make it look like they are larger than they are. Have you ever seen a dog whose bark does not match what they look like? Okay, it's a pet sitter. This happens to me all the time. And I'm like, how did that bark come out of you? Okay, they have a bark that sounds really, really huge, and they're like a tiny chihuahua. So you have to keep that keep it in context, I think. We have to keep it in mind, like, who these people really are. If let out of control, they could do some damage. But right now, we have the upper hand. And so I think it's good to call it out, but it's also good to remind our viewers, don't be in fear, because we are winning.
Yeah, I was trying to find the video of James O'Keefe.
Is that Sydney?
No.
She heard me.
With, I think his name is Andrew Gillum in going against DeSantis in Florida. And let me just Google Project Veritas, because I want you to see the little clip that came out from Andrew Gillum's campaign. He's a real socialist, a real socialist. And he is a black man running in Florida. And Project Veritas went undercover. And the comments made by one of his guys who runs his campaign was...
Jasper Street.
And it's not... And I'm not finding it. I don't know if Project Veritas was stopped.
Stuart the Brit says, Resistance Chicks, there's lots of good things happening in Britain. There are. That's why we do our Sunday show, because it is exciting to cover the good things that are happening in Britain. I could not agree more. A lot of things are happening in Poland. We've got their kind of Independence Day coming up on the 11th. That's really exciting.
Yeah, and I had we're definitely gonna show some stuff on Sunday. Well, if I can't find it, his campaign guy, here it is. This one I want you to show. Here we go.
To switch out your legislatures. So now the governor can get
He can do
what
that.
he wants. The rules in Florida up.
Tell me about it, man.
Alright, this is a fair state.
Okay.
It's a cracker state.
Okay.
Okay? Ask anybody outside of here, you go to Port St. Lucie, Orlando, man, them crackers ain't gonna let us do that. No.
That's the equivalent of say the N-word. So if
Yeah.
you say this is an N-word state, I mean, this like, you're just, this man was fired, by the way.
I lived in Tallahassee for 10 years. I've seen it. I went to a black college.
Yeah.
Even my father's wife. She like, oh, them crackers better take over FAMU. They never gonna be shit. They can't get it right. I hear that so much. I'm like, yo, mother crazy.
Right.
Really?
Well, okay, so a gentleman called on the phone and he said, fairy tales in the old days begin with once upon a time. Fairy tales in the modern day begin with once I am elected.
Now, what he was referring to was Gillum is promising Medicare for all and all kinds of programs that are literally not feasible.
Right.
But, and so the journalist was kind of goading him like, well, what's going to happen when he gets elected? And he's like, well, fairy tales in the modern world begin with once I get elected. So he promises you all these things.
And it's never going to happen.
Right.
Okay? So let's go back to Mr. Gillum's platform. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Raise the corporate tax in Florida from 7 to 11%. That will never happen. Raise teachers' pay to $50,000. That will never happen. Give me another position. Medicare for all.
Medicare, yeah.
That will never happen. Reason being, the legislature that writes the bills is all Republican controlled. Democratic governor, Republican legislature. So unless the legislature write a bill and it gets voted on the floor, it cannot pass. You have to appeal to white guilt.
All right, so how would you do that?
White guilt, white guilt.
Because that's what it is.
That's what it is.
So no, I'm with you on that track. So tell me,
if you can't have a real conversation about what it is, you're going to be screwed.
White guilt. You have to appeal
That's
to
exactly what they've done. That's why we see these people within like a Black Lives Matter movement. You see like white people telling these other white people how horrible they are as a person, and I'm like, you're not even making any sense.
So I'm going to end on a happy note.
Happy note.
This week, President Trump issued his second annual proclamation for the National Adoption Month, hailing both adopting children and placing them for adoption as acts of love.
Are they going to say this
American
is too much
society.
like Putin?
Adoption is a blessing for all involved. It
is.
provides needed relief to birth parents who may not, for whatever reason, be in a position to raise a child, the president said Wednesday. It fosters loving homes for children. It enables individuals to grow their families and share their love. And it fosters strong families, which are integral to ensuring strong communities in a resilient country. Adoption affirms the inherent value of human life and signals that every child, born or unborn, is wanted and loved.
Wow.
He continued, children, regardless of race, sex, age, or disability, deserve a loving embrace into families that can all call their own. This month, we honor thousands of American families who have grown because of adoption. The president specifically highlighted adoption's power to show women that they are not alone in an unexpected pregnancy. Remember that Obama
You just said
said
presidency.
Pregnancy. Obama said, I want abortion in case my child ever gets pregnant. And he's saying in case you get pregnant and you're not ready, then adoption shows women they're not alone. It's beautiful.
Yeah, but that was so great, that flub you just made.
I know.
An unexpected presidency, which is
what
what we
we have
have
right
with
now.
Donald Trump.
He called for continued assistance for families willing to adopt and pledge support for children in foster care, which is what we need, and we need adoption not to cost $40,000.
Absolutely.
We appeal to families, communities, and houses of worship across our great nation to help these children find a permanent home. I encourage all Americans to observe this month by helping children in need of a permanent home secure a more promising future with a forever family, so they may enter adulthood with the love and support we all deserve. And I think this is fantastic. And I'm so excited that he, it's a presidential proclamation, and I'm sure he signed it and read it, and it means it. And it's something that the left doesn't want you to talk about. He doesn't want it out there.
If you guys did not get a chance to watch our Gosnell exit interviews and review on that movie about Kermit Gosnell, the largest mass murderer in all of American history, as far as I'm concerned. We get to talk to some families about adoption.
Yeah, we
and
did.
The fact that they were from adopted families.
Yep.
And or they had adopted children.
Right.
And it was so very moving and powerful that here we have this stark movie about murder of children that are seemingly unwanted. And then you see the reverse side of that, and that's not true. No child, and President Trump just said it in this proclamation, no child, born or unborn, is unwanted.
One woman couldn't have kids, so she adopted 2, and now she has grandkids. And one woman went around through a bunch of foster cares, and she was adopted.
Yeah.
And by a loving family.
Yeah.
And she's, it was just a testament to love and healing and health and
right.
So I wanted to end with that and his white supremacist.
But before we end,
yes. Michelle's birthday, if you did not know this, is next Friday, November 9th. And Donald Blesky sent Michelle a...
It goes by Eric.
Eric, sorry.
It's fine. But we're going to open this today because it literally came with this
expedite.
He expedited it here. And he told me what it was before it was coming. Now, if you guys don't remember or you missed the mail call where he sent the Grace Vanderwall ukulele the other day for my birthday. I have not had a chance to learn it. However, my Uncle Jack's Pilates instructor today tells me that she's going to bring in her ukulele books for me. She's got some beginner books.
She plays ukulele.
And she does. And so... Oh my. This is apparently the soprano version of this one, which I think is the classical. I'm going to get that wrong.
I just made that up.
I'm going to get that wrong, and Eric's going to be like, that's not what it is, Michelle. I think it's not. Anyway, this is the soprano version. So it's like smaller. I didn't know that it could get smaller. I had no idea that it could get even smaller. I don't know anything about ukuleles. I really need to learn because this is terribly exciting to me. This is so great. This is so stinking great. So here's your, this is you.
Is it really smaller?
It looks, I think it's smaller.
Oh my word.
So there you go. That one's not in tune. But this has a tuner on it, I'm told. Do you want this?
I wouldn't know what notes they're supposed to be tuned to.
Okay. Eric, this is really great. That's all I got from is what you had from last week. But I'm going to get the book from Uncle Jack's Pilates instructor, and I'm going to learn, and Leah's going to learn, and we're going to do it together.
You don't know that that's not in tune because you don't know what notes it's supposed to be.
Okay. It totally could be in tune. I don't know. It sounds like it could be. How does it sound with the guitar? Chris, we haven't tried it yet. It's been a long week. I'm very much looking forward to learning to, I really, really am looking forward to learning how to play this, but I don't know. It's really great, Leah. I don't know. I'm just gonna have to figure it out. No idea. Yeah. I can't believe it's even smaller. But it literally says that it is still the Grace Vanderwaal Moonlight Soprano Ukulele. This is so great. Now, also, it says, tell me on here, there's online lessons. And there's a free trial. I think you get like 30 days.
I made that up just now.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So speaking of birthdays, Kelly's birthday is today. So happy birthday, Kelly. I hope it's been a wonderful day for you. I'm going to guess that you guys are going to go live tonight. I don't know what else you're doing for your celebration. You can leave that in the chat. It's beautiful.
Made that up
beautiful.
too.
That was really beautiful. Almost. Almost. We really were going somewhere.
I don't know the notes. It's weird.
Oh, I'm also going to have to cut all my fingernails off because I don't play guitar as much as I should back when I would keep my fingernails trimmed. But, Eric, thank you, thank you, thank you 1,000 times thank you. This is so much fun. His sister, Marlene, is going to be going to the Trump rally in Fort Myers, Indiana on Monday.
All right,
and
go.
is hoping to talk to Right Side Broadcasting. And I think I share a birthday with Marlene, actually. Jay says you girls are rocking. Not quite sure about that, but we're gonna get there, and we're gonna practice, and it's gonna be awesome. Now, Eric actually, when we opened up, it says Gracie on the back. Show him the little signature, just like on the back of this one. When he sent this one, there was a note that I thought he wanted me to read off air. No, he said, warning, if you open this, you have to do what's inside. What was inside was he has requested that we learn to play one of Gracie's songs.
I tried to play
the hard one.
And I started to cry. I don't know
It's that she wrote about her sister, which makes it even more difficult because it's a very emotional song. I don't even know where to put this. I'm afraid I'm going to hurt it, even though it's little. So thank you.
There's your song, guys.
That was great. That was really, really amazing.
Thank you. I'm going to be in the orchestra next week. Playing
I can't
one
believe it's even
with
smaller
each
than mine.
hand.
Stop it. Oh my gosh. Getting ready for twins. That's how we're going to get in lots of children at our age. Twins. Triplets.
Maybe.
Whatever. It's in the Bible.
Yep.
All right. Oh, and Kelly's anniversary is on the 7th. She gets everything packed in on November.
Bye.
All right. So do we have? We're not going to do a song tonight because that
It's
was
a
your
little
song.
late.
Yeah.
I think it's time to go.
So what are we going to do next, Leah? After we sign off. What did you tell everybody earlier?
Okay, Steve Bannon's got this thing, Trumpet War. Check it out. Steve Bannon, Trumpet War, YouTube.
What was it? The explicit version?
Yeah. Trump.
So if you want to just kind of have this Resistance Chicks camaraderie,
War, Bannon
we're not going to
movie.
do it with you, okay? But all at once, we could all watch this film tonight, and then everybody, it's like a book club, can come back together later, and we can talk about what we thought.
I love that it's
about
not,
it.
It's not up first.
It's not. Oh, on YouTube.
No. Oh my gosh,
Where did
they're
you find
hiding
it?
it. Okay, go to the Gateway Pundit.
Gateway Pundit.
Go to Gateway Pundit. Because they're hiding it. All right?
Okay. And then where do we go from there?
You know what?
I
It's
want
in
to
my
grab
history.
the link and drop it in there.
It's in my history. I played it.
But I don't have your computer. And it's difficult to get your history. I mean, I can get
It's
it.
in the YouTube. Go to YouTube history.
Oh.
We played it from YouTube. Okay. And drop the link in there. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Mass Faith 3 and Resistance Tricks.
Ring the bell for notifications.
Find us on Facebook.
Follow us on Twitter.
We love you.
God loves you.
And God bless. And God bless.
I am going to put that link in there, but I'm still not seeing it because sometimes you watch things and you're not logged into the same one. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Okay, wait. Okay, go to the Gateway Pundit.
I did that. Okay, here I am.
It's probably one of those that got...
Why they're trying to hide this? Oh, wait.
Here it is. Steve Bannon's latest product. It's across in the...
Did I go too far?
Go back up. Keep going. Right there.
Yep,
to the left.
I got it. All right. Okay. So then I'm going to drop this link.
We have a P.O. Box.
107. Send us your letters. We will read them on air.
For Milford, Ohio. 45150.
All right.
Thank you to our motivators. Motivators. I said motivators. You're motivators and you're moderators. And you motivate us.
Yeah, after the ukulele, I think Horatio told me I was going to get a lot of comments about George Formby. He's a famous uke player from the UK. I'm afraid to look up somebody that's going to, and then I'll be like, I'm never going to be that good. You know. All right. Has anyone read Tucker Carlson's book? No, but I think it's really good. And he doesn't even like to plug it. It's really interesting.
It's not going to hold there.
No, you're just going to have to hold it. Okay, so you guys are what are you going to do right now? You're going to go watch the Trumpet War. Is Trump somewhere tonight? Did we decide on that? West Virginia? No.
No, he's in Indiana.
Indiana. No, not tonight. Tonight?
I don't know where is he at right now. He's live somewhere. Let's see.
He's always live somewhere. It's always competition between Resistance Chicks and Donald Trump. I don't even know how you choose.
I don't know where he's at right now, guys. Where's the little man at? Live. I don't know where he's at right now, guys. He's somewhere. Oh, I know how to find out. Just go to YouTube. Right side broadcasting's there. Indianapolis, Indiana.
Okay, so he is in Indiana
this
tonight.
Incredible movement. The greatest political movement in the history of our country.
Now you have to watch a second.
And then here comes Mom with of course she knows where he is.
And if it wasn't,
look at that
and I said
guy.
that,
He looks like he
I'd
came
have a lot of
straight out of
problems back then.
1776.
He looks like
it is the greatest movement in the history. Think of it.
General Custer.
And it's about you. It's not about me. It's about
He's
you.
reincarnated General Custer.
Although I didn't do a bad job, right? Not bad.
The green hats are new.
Not a bad job.
What are those?
It's about you. He says, keep winning. We're going to keep winning. This is a movement built on love for our nation and love for our fellow citizens.
What do the green hats say?
And with your votes, we will keep on cutting your taxes.
Okay, so actually, pause that.
Reducing your regulations.
What is the green hats?
Yeah.
I don't know. So I dropped the link to the Gateway Pundit article. You have to click on it's literally just trumpatwar.com. That's where you guys can go. I'm going to drop that into the all right. So I know it's an article, but within the article it tells you to go where you can go and watch it. But I've dropped
and raising your incomes. We will protect Medicare and Social Security. And you remember on the debate stage, I would always defend Social Security when other guys wanted to tear it apart. Well, guess what? We haven't touched Social Security. We will defend your right to free speech, religious liberty, and we will continue to confirm judges who will interpret the Constitution as written.
Yes, Lord.
All right, we cannot watch the
We will fully secure the border.
Trump on. Y'all can go to Right Side Broadcasting and you can go and watch it. Leah says, how does he do this? As somebody that used to play music on stage, it is difficult sometimes to play the same songs over and over and over again. And the fact that he delivers these same speeches with the same fervency over and over and over again, man, the dude kills it. It really gets me.
He's like an athlete.
All right. Thank you, guys. We love you. God loves you. And God bless. We will see you back here on Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our European and UK news. Leah's singing. You want me to sign you off singing? All right. Good night, guys.
I was cold all alone. No place for home every day. So afraid, but you go.